Today on the Topping Show, Nike endorses child trans surgeries, evidence of the Burisma bribery with Biden come to the surface, Dodge Challenger to get a stick shift, tech companies continue to push to try to get their employees to come back to the office, Twitter to pay creators, Garth Brooks to have Bud Light in his bar, DeSantis campaign uses deepfakes of Trump in an ad, and Walgreens reveals a store with no inventory. All that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller service company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader and a business owner, you need a little assistance, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Now, other interesting cultural news, you have even Joe Rogan calling out Target. Now, Target, again, losing about $15 billion in stock value since they decided to cross the line from the long-term society being supportive and okay with the gay apparel, and I should say the pride apparel, which it's not pejorative, it is gay apparel. But they've carried those product lines for years, and this year they decided we're going to have trans clothing for children and satanic materials. Satanic, I mean literally, not metaphorically. They had keychains, pendants with Satan on it, designed by a self-proclaimed Satanist in the UK. And they actually had, buttons that said, Satan respects pronouns, and other things that are pejorative against cis people or heterosexual people. And again, child clothing and the tuck clothing, where again, I didn't know this stuff existed, but it's a female swimsuit for a male, but there's extra space so you could tuck. But they decided to carry that and target to the kids. That was big, controversial. That's a big cultural spike in terms of people started to pay attention to that. And even Joe Rogan, the most influential podcaster on the planet, most successful podcaster in history, even he is starting to dunk on Target. Now, he recently said during one of his interviews, he said, in regard to the Target, he said, quote, "Stop shoving this down our throats," unquote. Which again, it's also true that most of these Targets had the, during Pride Month, the LGBT, I said LGBT, they had those clothing at the very front of the store, which, yeah, you would never, it is also an interesting cultural phenomenon. You've never seen a store where the Bibles are at the very front. I mean, have you? Walmart, in their defense, they are much more politically, they're playing the game of chess. Everyone else is playing checkers or hopscotch. They actually do have biblical materials as well as LGBT materials. That's why I think you've seen a lot of this controversy about Walmart. They're giving the consumer more choices and both choices. But when you have the most influential podcaster on the planet, even they are starting to dunk on Target. How much is this going to drop their stock? I mean, he is the most popular person for the UFC, for podcasting, judo. He's very diverse in his skill sets. How many people who listen to him on a daily basis and who respect his opinion, how many of them are going to start paying attention? Because even if it wasn't on their radar before, having him called out, that's some of the worst press Target could ever possibly imagine. I mean, he is the pinnacle of podcasting and comedy. If he starts to write jokes about them, which, again, he's a comedian, he probably should. There's a lot of material to work there, especially with the swimsuits. There's extra material. Get it? But even he is starting to duck on Target. That's not going to be good for their sales figures. It just can't. Interesting. Time shall tell to see how it pans out. Now, thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Cannot thank you enough for your taking the time to like, subscribe, and comment. All the feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone to stay safe and fight the good fight.